Guys, first of all, I'd like to talk about something. I keep hearing people talk about the restlessness and the anxiety, and one of the reasons for that is, again, I'm going to mention this: your dopamine plummets to zero. Your brain has become very accustomed to a pill or a chemical, oxycontin, oxycodone. My cat's saying hello, hi. It doesn't matter. Buprenorphine, it doesn't matter if it's morphine, MS-Contin, whatever the case may be. They all do the same thing. They increase your dopamine like astronomically. As it increases your dopamine, it also increases your adrenaline, which is where a lot of the energy comes from. It's where, you're able to run around and be superhuman. And that's why we all got addicted to begin with. But unfortunately, when we start going through this process, what is basically taking place is our dopamine plummets to zero. And that leaves our adrenaline just coursing through our veins. And it's the adrenaline that's going to keep you from sleeping. It's the adrenaline that's basically the most maddening part of this, because it just won't let you calm down. And then, of course, your hypothalamus is in chaos, and you can't get warm, and your hypothalamus regulates your internal body temperature, and you just can't get warm. So again, at this point, the only way to really counter any of that is by making sure that you get plenty of exercise, which will increase your dopamine again. It will take some of that adrenaline away, hopefully lower it. You want to try to get as much exercise as possible. But a lot of this, there is no easy way around this. I didn't want to go through this, but the benefit today is so great. I can articulate through information. People that I was constantly up in arms with and arguing with, I realized that it was me. They would push my buttons, and I would get so agitated and so pissed off at them. Like, how dare you piss me off? But, it is what it is. And, those are things that I have to make amends for. Shit happens. Addiction happens. It is what it is. But staying on the meds just weren't going to work for me anymore. They weren't. They were destroying my life, whether I wanted to admit it or not, whether I wanted to acknowledge my part in all of it or not. They were destroying my life. They were destroying my family members because they were watching me circle the drain. They were destroying my husband because he was watching me circle the drain. He almost left me 4 years, and good for him. If he hadn't had done what he had done, I would probably still be sitting on my ass, bitching, griping, complaining, feeling sorry for myself, and blaming everyone else. The fact of the matter is I had to make this decision because I want a better life. I want to be happy. I want to feel like I'm a functional member of society. That's why I quit. I had to quit, because if I didn't quit, I think I would have eventually ended up dead. And that's the bottom line for a lot of people. And to think that I've treated the people that I said that I loved the way that I treated them is pretty crappy on my part. And the only way that I could apologize is to live that apology, and by doing what was right and what was necessary in order for me to live and move on. This cannot be permanent for y'all. It can't. We are not designed to live on medications that suppress the functions of our body. And when your hypothalamus isn't working correctly, and when your central nervous system is depressed, and your brain is needing a drug in order to produce a chemical that it should be producing on its own, that's problematic. That's hugely problematic. And it's going to lead to depression, anxiety. It's going to lead to some people's death. It's going to lead to a lot of things. It's just not worth it. Why are we using a Suboxone drug maintenance to get off of other opiates? The fact of the matter is buprenorphine is still an opiate, and people don't realize that. And it's ironic that they don't understand that. A lot of people don't. Buprenorphine is a pain medication. It's an opioid. Naloxone, to the 2 milligrams, whatever it is not. It's not an opiate, but it's also got a very deleterious effect on the human condition. People, this wasn't designed to be on permanently, and a lot of doctors want to keep you on it. Remember that. They want you to stay on the medication. I can't tell you how many stories I read about people begging the doctor to please help them, and he didn't help them. Instead, what he did was he increased their dose because they were depressed, they were feeling dysfunctional, they were feeling, anxiety, and they fell into the same trap that a lot of people fall into, thinking, well, if I take more of this, I'll feel better. No, and that's always the way it's going to be. One is never enough, and 1,000 is way too many. And I know that's a stupid cliche from, the program, But it's not really a stupid cliche because it's the truth, and it's just the way we were on the pain medication. Now, I know the Suboxone does keep you a little stable, but it's designed as a short-term way of rapid detoxing yourself. And if I had done my homework about Suboxone before I went on it, instead of jumping on it out of desperation, I would have learned quick, like, and in a hurry, that it wasn't the answer. It wasn't the answer. And it was the fear of jumping off that made me not jump off. So 5.5 months of my life, erased, gone, can't ever get them back. And plus the 15 plus years prior to that, it's just no more. I don't want this. I don't think any of you want this. If you did, you wouldn't be looking for these videos. It's doable, and the withdrawal from the Suboxone isn't anything like opiates. I'm just telling you, this is just my personal experience. Maybe it's because of all the things that I did, and maybe you guys should think about doing the same thing. You know, if you really want off it, what is your freedom worth to you? You know, is it worth going out before you got off the Suboxone and walking 5 to 10 miles a day? Is it worth, you know, figuring out a way to become more nutritionally efficient rather than deficient prior to the jump? You know, what are you going to do so you don't set yourselves up for failure? And that's a big ordeal. That's a big deal. If you guys don't set yourselves up for success, you're not going to be successful. You have to make sure that you need to make sure that you're figuring out how you're going to do it. What am I going to need when I do it? What supplements am I going to need? Do I need a heating pad? Am I going to have to buy Epsom salt? Do I need a freaking electric blanket? You know, do I need to get mega doses of vitamin C? Do I need to take manganese and magnesium? How do those affect my bones and my central nervous system during this process? They very much affect it because your central nervous system is out of whack, completely out of whack. And magnesium is known to calm a lot of the restlessness down. That's why I took 10,000 Epsom salt baths. It's full of magnesium, and it helps. And like I said in my earlier videos, if you have to take 30 baths in a day just to feel good, then that's what you need to do. I understand some people need to work. God bless y'all. Because, I don't know if I could have done all that. I'm just saying, you know, again, I'm really lucky to have had somebody here to support me through this, really support me. And, but again, you know, you guys are in charge of all of this. And don't give up. Just because you feel like shit on the second day, the third day, the fourth day, why give up? You're so freaking close. Don't give up. You could wake up the next day and hit one of the milestones that I'm talking about, and then you're going to be like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited a little bit of time. Well, you should have, and you would have been through it. Just stop, and don't try to find easier ways out. You're going to feel like crap. It's okay. Let yourself feel like crap. Maybe it's the pain that's going to be the greatest motivator for the change. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. This is Suboxone withdrawal day 12. I'm actually doing really good, guys. Today I'm in a great mood. Jason's about to come home. We're going to go grocery shopping, and we're going to do a few other things and just run some errands. We're probably going to go for a 4 or 5 mile long walk because it's necessary. But anyway, guys, it's not bad. Today's been awesome. Like I said this morning, I did have a little bit of restlessness in my legs, which I expected. In my experience, it's my kneecaps that are the last to stop aching and freezing, because you're going to freeze. You're going to freeze. That's why I suggest the baths. That's why I suggest having warm clothes. That's why I suggest turning up the heat as high as it'll go. I mean, there were days, I live in Florida, and there were days that I still had the heat up to 80 degrees. 80 degrees. And I was still taking baths and then getting out freezing. But, you know, the old adage is no pain, no gain. If you really, really, really want this, then you can do it. If you really want this, you have to want it bad enough, and you need to make sure that you know what you're going to go through prior to making the jump, and you need to taper it down correctly. If you don't taper it down, I wouldn't wait a year to taper it down. I mean, like I said, I was on 8 milligrams of Suboxone a month ago. I dropped it down to 3 milligrams, caused a little bit of gastric distress for like 2 days. I had the runs, not going to lie. When I dropped it down to 2 milligrams, same thing. 3 or 4 days, you know, I had gastric distress, and, you know, I still felt some of the symptoms. When I got down to 1 milligram, it's when it got really hard, because you're basically going into withdrawals every morning. And that's also why I made the decision, what's the point of waiting anymore? I'm going into withdrawals every day. I'm waiting 2 to 3 hours for that little sliver of Suboxone to kick in. And I've already lost 3 to 5 hours of my day. It just wasn't worth it. And I figured, you know what, if I'm already going through withdrawals every single morning this intense, fuck that. I'm done. And I looked at Jason, I said, I've got to throw this shit away. I got to be done with this crap. And he said, well, just put it in the center console of the couch. He said, if you decide you really, really need to take a piece, take a piece. I didn't. I took the pieces and tossed them in the toilet and flushed it because I wanted no option. I wanted no choice. I didn't want the temptation there. And I'm here to tell you guys, if you've got temptation around you, you're screwing yourself and you're screwing your own progress. If you know people that are doing drugs and you don't take yourself as far away from those people as humanly possible that enable you to do this crap, then you're doing yourself a very big disservice and you're not going to get free of this. You have got to make a decision to get away from those people that you were hanging out with in active addiction. You have to. I had to get rid of 3 friends that I thought was friends, and they weren't friends. They were partying buddies. They were somebody that I could trade pills back and forth with so I didn't get sick or they didn't get sick. And you know what? At the end of the day, if they were invested in my happiness and my success, it would have never been a pill trading party. And, you know, they were just as sick as I was. You're going to find that those people you have nothing in common with. And if you go around them, that temptation is going to be extreme and excruciating. It's not worth it. This is your life. Nobody's going to make your life better but you. Nobody is going to make your life better than you. You're in control. You're in control. You're in control as to whether or not you call those people or you erase their numbers out of your phone. You're in charge of whether or not you decide to take that one last pill. But if you put yourself in a position to be around those people with those pills or that Suboxone, you are setting yourself up for failure. And you have to make a decision. What's more important? Taking the pills, those friends, or the rest of your life and your sanity? Because I'm going to tell you what, my sanity was of the utmost importance to me. My family, the people that I love, the people that I care about. I could not be the kind of son I needed to be, the kind of husband that I needed to be, the kind of father that I needed to be. I have a 20-year-old daughter and a grandson. You know, there were a lot of things that I wanted to be, and I was incapable of being that person because of the chemical deficiencies I had going on in my brain that kept me from experiencing life to the fullest, feeling things to the fullest, instead of just the rage, the anxiety, and that frustration with a drug that had turned on me so desperately. So, anyway, that's my deal today. It's my last video for the day. Like I said, we're about to leave in a few minutes, but I just wanted to touch base with y'all. You can do this. It's important. It's important. Today's day 12. I feel amazing. I can think clearly. I'm thinking in straight lines. You know, my thinking on the Suboxone became very cyclical. It was over and over, having the same thoughts over and over and over again. That's not how I normally operate. And, yeah. So anyway, guys, you can do this. Have a good day. I really hope these videos help. I really do. I know that they help me. So anyway, if you guys feel like they help you, make a video. Because number one, it's going to help you. But number two, it's going to help somebody else. Not be afraid. Look, I watched these videos incessantly when I decided to make the jump prior to making the jump. Because it gave me an understanding of what I was going to go through. Gave me a very deep understanding of what I was going to go through, and I'm thankful to all of you who did make videos. And just remember, those videos you make are going to help somebody else. Screw what anyone thinks. Who gives a crap if somebody leaves ugly comments in the bottom? It's not about them. It's about the million other people that are likewise going through the same thing that you're going through. So keep this going. Keep the chain going. Educate yourselves. Educate other people. That's part of the problem. We live in a society where, you know, the knowledge is there, but people don't, I don't know if they just don't want it. I'm not really sure what the deal is. But, you know, I'm going to keep making these videos. And if they help even one person, then fuck the rest of the world. I don't care. Because those people that are haters clearly don't understand this. So, if they want to hate, hate. You ain't hurting my feelings. So, anyway, y'all have a good day.